What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Real Reds Talk, an authentic football fan channel made in Manchester. The Premier League returns tonight, and it's Nottingham Forest versus Manchester United. And the screen isn't on the team. The team's on the screen is what we should probably say, right? The team is on the screen. This is how we're setting up. Pretty much the team I predicted, apart from these one tweak or two tweaks, if you want to call it that. I'm not entirely sure. But the back line is Onana, Mazraoui, De Ligt, and Yoro. We're presuming Yoro is on that left-hand side because before he got the injury, it felt like he was starting to settle in a little bit, and he looks pretty comfortable. So I'm going to imagine that he's there. But also, you know, Mazraoui could be over there. I think Mazraoui would be on the right-hand side. I think I'm going to speak about it a little bit more in depth in terms of tactics on the pitch and how we had to handle the wide players. And I think that's why Mazraoui and Yoro are in there specifically. Maybe that's why he hasn't chucked Maguire and put De Ligt out wide. But one can only speculate, right? So that's... Oh, I've not even got my glasses on. What's going on? Now the stream started. I can't start the stream without my glasses. I'm not going to go back through everything that I've just said. Don't worry about that. But anyway... This is the back line that we've got. We've got Diego Dalot, Casemiro, Ugarte, and Dorgu in the midfield. I definitely want to talk about that. And then we've got Garnacho, Xerxes, and Bruno Fernandes. You would probably imagine is going to be a little bit more advanced in this game because it's not going to be Casemiro and it's not going to be Ugarte, is it? Although, you know, one might tend to wonder every now and then. Manuel Ugarte, you know, he scored for us a few weeks back. Who did he score against now? It was a volley one at Everton, edge of the box. Pretty good, right? So, yeah, that is the starting lineup. Let me know your feelings on that. Do you think that is a decent team? Do you feel positive going into this game? On our subs bench, we've got Bayindir, Lindelof, Maguire, Amas, Collier, Eriksson, Kone, Mount, and Rasmus HOJLUND. So a little bit more depth and experience on the bench, which is nice to see. Mount could be interesting. Eriksson, HOJLUND, the more experienced players, Maguire as well. But I was going to say, actually, I don't think he'll bring Maguire on. But Amarin seems to have this habit, doesn't he, where he brings centre-backs on in like the 60th, I can't speak today, the 65th or the 70th minute. So, yeah, I'm interested to see who he brings on and where we're at in that period of the game. Let's go from back to front. This is what we always do, and obviously I'll interact with your comments, get your thoughts in. Smash a like of the video, subscribe to the channel. We're on 13,512 at the minute, so let's try and get those up if we can. Yeah, let's go for it. So, Onana in net. I know Bayindir is back in the side. He's now fit and available, I'm pretty sure. Or so he's on the bench, so he's obviously available to play. We had that stint, didn't we, where he had the game against Tottenham where he was a little bit shaky, but then he had an incredible performance against Arsenal where people was actually talking about, okay, that's interesting. Let's have a number one conversation. Now, I do think until the end of the season, it will be Onana. Onana will start in the Europa League. He will start in the Premier League. And when we get to the summer, I think that's when we will probably assess it, right? I think Onana, in general, has got too many mistakes for me. There are two players that I look at in the squad who make way too many mistakes, and it's Diego Dalot and it's Andre Onana. And I think when you have those in your team constantly, yeah, they can have amazing performances. They can pull off great saves like Onana did against Eze, and they can pull off double saves like he did against was it Fenerbahce away in Turkey. Like they have moments where they play really good. I mean, Dalot scored before the international break, I think, didn't he? Did he score? I'm sure Dalot scored in one of the games. It might have been Leicester. Might be one of the other ones. And he got an assist for Bruno Fernandes as well, I think. In the same kind of pattern of goal that we've seen before between those two. So, yeah, them two for me just have a mistake. I can't go into a game with full trust when I know those two are in the side because I always think one of them have got a clanger in it. And I think what really emphasises that is, if you remember from pre-season when Onana first came in, I remember Dalot losing the ball. And I know this is going way back now and, you know, we're talking like a year and a half ago here, almost. I remember Dalot giving it away and then Onana getting chipped from the halfway line. Was it Lons? I think that happened. And it just kind of sums up what those players are about. They just can be clunky at times. But we're trying to have positive vibes. We're trying to go into this with positivity, right? So hopefully Onana, I don't know how we got on with Cameroon because with all due respect, I don't watch African football. I don't even know where it's televised, to be honest with you. So I don't know how he's got on. Even if I didn't know, Onana just does Onana things. So the only thing I'll say about the goalkeeper, no mistakes, please. Please, crossing my fingers. I don't even want to put it out there, like the energy into the earth. we go into the back line. I spoke about Yoram Mazraoui, why I think they are put there. I think whoever it is who's playing for Forest, which we should probably get up because I don't want to be talking about tactical analysis when I don't even know who's on the pitch for Nottingham Forest. I know there's like Gibbs White, Chris Wood. There was a couple of injury concerns, wasn't there? So, yeah. Sells in net, Murillo, Nico Williams, Anderson, Awonyi, Gibbs White, Elanga, Yates, Danilo, Milinkovic, Aino. I know I always say this when I'm live, right? Especially when we're doing a pre-match build-up. Can you, for once, the teams, I don't know if teams I'm presuming teams in other leagues do it, right? But teams in the Premier League, can you, when you put a team out, can you just put it in order? Is that too much to ask for? Just put it in order. Goalkeeper, right back, centre back, left back, right mid, centre mid, left mid if you're playing a 4-4-2, and then 2 strikers. Simple. So you can read through it. Because I'm going through this team now, like, okay, Sells, Murillo at right back, Williams centre back, Anderson, obviously not in those positions, and Awonyi isn't playing left back. And I don't even know, it's not alphabetical order. It's not numerical order. So why do it? It baffles me. Absolutely baffles me. Then you got to try piece it together whilst you're on the live to see who's playing. It just annoys the life out of me. So I imagine the back line is going to be Nico Williams, Murillo, Milenkovic, and Aino, right? Then you've got Yates and Anderson in the middle, absolute engines. Then you've got probably Elanga, Gibbs White as the 10, Awonyi, and then Danilo. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to piece that team together. But that's who we're playing anyway. So make of that what you will. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a tough game. I'll get into Forest in terms of tactics and how I feel this game's going to go and how we can hit him and all that kind of stuff. Hurt him, sorry, not hit him. Sounds a bit weird, that, doesn't it? In due time, we've got plenty to discuss. So much. I've done so much research for this, so I'm interested to get into it. Shreya's in the chat. Hey, Nick, how we doing? Should I stay up for this one? Do you know what? I'm actually feeling, I said this on the radio before, I'm actually feeling quite positive about this. I don't know if that's naive of myself. I don't know what you guys think as well, but I feel like before the international break, we was in really good form. Well, not really good form. That might be too kind, but I thought performance against Arsenal, you probably should have come away with a win in that game. I thought we was the better team. We was good in the second leg against Sociedad, really good, and it was great to be live to witness that. I thought that was probably one of the best performances under Ruben Amorim. HOJLUND scored a goal. Bruno's in incredible form. He's one player of the month as well, which I definitely want to speak about. So, you know, you go through all this and you're like, there's positivity there. We're actually starting to play really, really well. So I'm up for it, man. I think Nottingham Forest are going to be tired. Obviously, they beat Brighton in the FA Cup, but they went to extra time and they went to penalties. So the question marks over, are they going to be up for that physically? Especially due to a team who play the majority of the game without possession. So, yeah. But again, I'm getting into my tactics here. I want to get into that in a minute. Random guy. Amorim is getting ready to overload the Forest midfield. Mount and HOJLUND to be subbed on somewhere in the second half. Mount for Casemiro, HOJLUND for Garner or Xerxes. No Chris Wood for Forest, which is, I mean, that's just a positive. That's just a tick straight off the bat, innit? For anyone who watches WWE, you'll know what that reference is. Forest keeper loves a long ball, so we need to get after that second ball, win them, and then get a result tonight. Yeah, I will break it down tactics. I've been looking at Nuno quite a bit with Forest this season, just in preparation for this. So yeah, I will dive into that. But I spoke about Mazraoui, De Ligt. I mean, general consensus here, I don't want to speak for everyone. I think De Ligt's been the unsung hero this season. I think he's been really, really good. And for the amount of scrutiny that he's faced from pundits, whether it's Paul Scholes or people on TalkSport, I know, crazy, right? Mad. How crazy that TalkSport are talking about United players, and you never would have thought it. But yeah, it faced a lot of criticism, a lot of weight on him, and it seemed at the time it was kind of the typical signing United would go for. Big name, big wages, just looking for it. But it doesn't seem like that kind of character. I think when you captain Ajax at such a young age, it just speaks volumes of what kind of player you are, do you know what I mean? Or what kind of leadership qualities that you have. Now, obviously, it didn't work out at Juventus. It kind of worked out at Bayern. I thought he was pretty good. I thought it was, I don't know, people seem to have a weird conception of what happened at Bayern Munich. Juventus is probably the one you would say, okay, probably didn't work out. But you had a lot of things ongoing there, and I haven't got an hour to dive into why it didn't work out at Juventus with Bonucci and Chiellini and the pressure there and da-da-da. But he's here now. He's a United player. He's been pretty solid, 7 or 8 out of 10 every single game. He's Carl Anker made a point on Talk of the Devils about De Ligt leading the younger players alongside him, and I thought it was a really, really good point. That Aiden Heaven and Yoro, let's say if they was starting this game, obviously Mizrahi is more experienced and he's actually played with De Ligt before, but Yoro and Heaven, when they was either side of him, he is the perfect one to look for guidance in the game. This is a kid who's played at the biggest clubs, the biggest club in Netherlands, biggest club in Italy, biggest club in Germany, and now he's playing for the biggest club in England. So he's got a wealth of experience, even at the age of 24. So he's the perfect guy to guide you through a game, communicate, even if it's like things off the pitch that we don't necessarily see. He's a good guy to have around. And I'm seeing murmurs of people even speaking about future captain and these kind of things. He's an inspirational centre-back who's a rock who can handle himself in the Premier League. And I am all for it. I'm not saying he's 10-10, one of the best in the Premier League, but I do think when you look at his overall statistics of what you would look from a centre-back in terms of aerial duels, presence on the pitch, on the ball qualities, all that kind of stuff, he's in the very good category, between the 60s and 70s% in each one. And aerially, he's decent as well. So I'm happy with him in a minute. I think he looks pretty settled in a back five, back three, whatever you want to call it. And long may it continue, because I think it's been a good signing. And yeah, I won't have it any other way. Dallo as the right wing back. Dorgu comes back in as well, of course, because his suspension has been lifted now, which is great to see, because I don't need to tell you lot, Dorgu being at left wing back, it just offers so much more balance. We have gone from a team who, you know, for the past, 2, 3, 4 years, we've had, I mean, even going back to Brandon Williams, who I know by trade is a left back, but he's a right-footed left back. We've never had a natural player really on that side, and apart from when Shaw has had his phases when he's come in and out of the team, or when we signed Tellers, but Tellers just simply wasn't good enough. So we've never had a real premium left back, left wing back, whatever you want to call it, in the team. And having Dorgu there, it's just so much better. So much better for balance. And I think that combination with Bruno and Dorgu on that left-hand side is going to be really, really interesting. Because what was happening was, when Garnacho was on that left-hand side, he was drifting wide, which meant Dorgu had to then invert, it's not really natural for him to do. I mean, he can do it, but it wasn't natural for him. You want him holding the width. That's what the wing-backs are there. That's what they're designed for, right? You want him holding the width, bombing down the side, putting balls into the box, which he did for, I think it was Rasmus HOJLUND, was it? Or Eriksson, sorry, on international duty. He's done that for Denmark. That's what he's really good at. That's what he's been brought in for. So if that is the case, fantastic. Well, it is the case. I don't need to say if that is the case. He's been playing really well, so I'm happy for him to play at left wing back. Dallo is one, and I don't want to go over players. It's still better having Dallo on the right-hand side, right? He did score before the international break. Like I said, he got an assist for Bruno. So if that continues, I'm fine with it. But it's always, the blinkers are there, do you know what I mean? It's like the back of your brain's telling you, Dallo's got a mistake in him. He's just, there's something going to happen. But hopefully he has a good game. The midfield situation is what's interesting, isn't it, people? Because Casemiro and Ugarte, I don't think anyone had that in the bingo card. But if you look at Forest's midfield and Anderson, Yates, Gibbs-White dropping in there as well, there's a lot of runners, there's a lot of physicality. And I think you need two combative players in there to match that. Now, Casemiro is tricky because he's not one to, in terms of energy and covering ground, he's not one, but Ugarte will do that side of it. Casemiro will kind of be the pickpocket, and the thing is with Casemiro as well, the one quality that I love about him, that I don't think any other player in the team has it, is that first time pass over the top. That clip over the top where, you know, when like a defense is pressing up on you, and you're like, there's not many gaps to kind of play those intricate passes. He can just bang one-time pass straight over the top to a Dorgu or to a HOJLUND or someone like that. And I think having players who are capable of playing those either switches of play or balls in behind or is so important for this system. So important, because with the Ruben Amorim system, right, it's really, when you look at it as a basis, it's really like a 4-2-2. So everything's very, very central. You have the centre-back who steps up to join the pivot. So let's say Casemiro, for example. Ugarte will push on a little bit with Bruno. And then you'll have, let's say, Xerxes and Garnacho as the front two. The wing-backs will hold the width. So everything's really compact and squeezing it out. And then that's why the wing-backs are there. You have to hold your width because they'll play it out wide and you get crossed into the box. But also not that. If you've got a centre-back who's on the ball and he's looking, you know, let's say I'm Matthias de Ligt and I'm looking either side and everything's really squeezed. You've got Anderson Yates pressing you. What's the ball that's always on? It's boom, straight over to the wing back. Or boom, Rasmus makes a run inside. Or you see at Sporting Lisbon, for example, Giovanni Kenda sometimes would cut in. You'd have Trincao dragging a centre-back out, and then Gyökeres will hit him straight through the middle and penetrate him. Pause. There's intricate ways to work it, and I think it's just having those two in there and having Casemiro for that quality could work out, but it just depends what Casemiro you're getting. The latest we've seen of Casemiro in the past couple of games, he's been pretty good, I felt like, at least. So hopefully we get that version. And Ugarte is, do you know what? The best way to describe Manuel Ugarte, he quietly puts fires out. And do you know what? If you was to think of an analogy for Ugarte, right? What's something that's really important, but is kind of like hidden, and you don't really, that serves a purpose, but it's hidden. Roots in a tree. Perfect example. Hidden beneath the surface, unseen by most, but quietly provides the strength and nourishment in this team that allows everything to flourish. Put it on a fucking plaque. Put that on his plaque. Put that on his shirt, because that's what he is. He's not a player who everyone raves about and shouts about. He's not Bruno who's going to get a goal or assist. But the volume and level of output that he puts in a game, especially the big games, really does go unnoticed. So, yeah, I love Ugarte. I love the energy he gives us. And his availability as well. Availability is another thing. Like, touch wood, yeah. I don't think he's picked up any massive injuries. He's always there. He's a soldier and he's ready to go. I'll dive into the attack in a minute. I just want to go back to the comments. It is number order. It wasn't number order because it says Sells 25, Murillo 5, Williams 7, Anderson 8. Oh, that is now. So, yeah, so Sells is 26. Obviously, you can't take him out. Right, okay. That makes more sense now. Apologies about that. UTFR saying Forest keeper loves a long ball, so we need to get after that second ball, win them, and we'll get a result tonight. He gets scrutiny because of the badge he wears. He's been excellent, and he's getting better. He's 100% leader, captain material. So that's in relation to Matthias de Ligt. And yeah, big up Steph who's just joining us. Big up everyone in the chat. Please do leave that like in the video. If you're staying for 5-10 minutes, that's absolutely fine. But yeah, if you can leave a like for us. If you head off, if you're watching the game or coverage or whatever it is, then yeah, that'd be great. Sorry, I'm just trying to get comfortable on this chair because it's not the usual chair. It's basically just a garden chair that I'm sat on in a minute because there's bits going on. Anyway, Alejandro Garnacho, we believe, is going to be on the right. I know at the minute we keep seeing links with him. I don't know if Amorim is under the same mindset that he would let Garnacho go now, because I think what's happened with him moving over to the right, he's just looked a lot better. He's looked a lot better. I think cutting in from the left-hand side, he was a bit raw, he was a bit bobbly, he was a bit rash in a lot of the things that he was doing. Now he looks more natural on the right, more direct, more of a threat, and the balls that he's putting into the box is on his right foot, on his strong foot. So he's naturally being more open to putting balls into the box, which again, you come back to Amorim's system, is really, really important. He looks a threat, he's direct. I like him, and he can mould him as well. This is the thing with young players. He's only 20 years old. You know, he's gone from playing in Ten Hag's system, where it is, to be fair, all about the width and the wingers, and that's the emphasis, to this now where it's a little bit more intricate. Like I touched on before, everything's more central in Amorim's system. So the 10s have kind of license to roam and a bit more freedom, but they have to have that intelligence on the pitch, and they also have to have the ability to take it under pressure, to look for your striker, to just intelligence on the pitch is what I'll say about that position. So hopefully he is a sponge, he is adapting, and you know, he's got two players ahead of him who are completely different players. Bruno Fernandes pushing up, which we expect, has been incredible form. He's getting player of the month for the Premier League in March. If you look at his record over the past couple of games, he's been unbelievable for us. Like every single game, bar one or two in the past 10-15 games, I think he's done something. Whether it's an assist, a goal, go through the catalogue, he's done everything. Even since Roy Keane's given that bollocking, and some people may say Roy Keane's played a blinder if that's the reason why he's done it, and I would agree with that if that is the correct reason, but Bruno's been sensational, man. And again, he was someone I was speaking about before when I was on the radio, and he was asking about the Real Madrid bid, the £90 million that we've all heard about, and I was like, it's nonsense. That bid is absolute nonsense. There's no chance. I mean, maybe if you ask Bruno and he's like, if you know, no strings attached, you go to Real Madrid right now, he might consider it, right? Why wouldn't you? It's Real Madrid, and Real Madrid are incredible, and they've got an incredible team, and they're most likely to win the Champions League almost every season, and have a fantastic opportunity at winning the league. So from a player perspective, how can you look at Madrid and go, not sure? I doubt that, right? And you look at some of the amazing Portuguese players that's played for Real Madrid, Luis Figo, Cristiano Ronaldo, Pepe, like just some sensational footballers. So I would imagine as a player, you probably would want to go. But he's just signed a new contract. I think, was it last season? He signed a new 5-year deal. He's the captain at Man United. He absolutely adores, loves the club. He's so ingrained in the culture. I could never see a world. I might be wrong. Call me out on it in the summer if it happens. Bruno Fernandes has moved to Real Madrid, but I just don't see a world where it happens at all. Is incredibly important for us as well. And Amarin spoke about that when he did the presser yesterday. He said he was like laughing almost. He was like, "No, we're in control of this. He's 4 years left. You do not have to sell. Don't want to sell him either." Just imagine, this is what kind of woke me up a little bit to Bruno. And it's not as if I've always been aware of how good of a player he is, but just imagine a scenario now where he leaves for Madrid in the summer and we have to try and replace him, and the numbers that he puts up and everything else on top of that. The how he is with young players. You're not just replacing a player who puts in sometimes record-breaking statistics. Try and replace that first and foremost. Then try and replace the guy that he is and the leader he is, that he can be at times. It's hard work trying to do that. So it almost gets to a point where you're like, I don't know if a big amount of money will even replace him. And you have to, I don't know. I just don't even want to think about it. So, yeah, glad Bruno's starting today. I imagine he's probably going to do something because he's been in incredible form. Joshua Zirkzee is the 9. Is the one that I'm fascinated with because I haven't seen him in that position for a bit. I prefer him personally as one of those 10s. So, I don't know. There's a couple of quotes coming out from him actually saying, on the support from United fans, obviously very important. I think everyone knew that I kind of went through a bit of a difficult time, but the fans just kept supporting me and I want to repay them every time I step on the pitch. It's amazing, really. Yeah, nothing but thankful. That was the TNT Sports. He says, it's been a difficult season, we can say that, but I think we're on a good run here. We've had some good games, the Europa League game and Leicester. Of course, we've gained a lot of confidence from that. We're just going into the game with full confidence. We're coming here to win and keep the streak going and build on that. It's a big test for United tonight, isn't it? A big test, because the games that we had played prior, the Leicester game, I think people made a lot of that. The fact that, we've beaten 3-0, we've kept a clean sheet, but Leicester, I mean, I will go through Leicester's record right now in the last couple of games. They are a poor team. Poor team, right? So, prior to... my throat's going. Prior to playing Man United, they had lost 1-0 to Chelsea, 2-0 to West Ham, 4-0 to Brentford, 2-0 to Arsenal, lost to us again, 4-0 to Everton, beat Tottenham, 2-0 to Leicester, Fulham. They've just lost loads of games, 2-3, 4-0, without scoring a goal. They are a shit team. So, yes, you have to win the games that are in front of you, of course, but this is the kind of test that I want. Nottingham Forest have been bodying teams all season. They've had some really, really fantastic results against the bigger opposition. Obviously, they're not brighting out the FA Cup recently. They beat Man City 1-0 at the City ground and kept a clean sheet. Drew with Arsenal. They beat Brighton 7-0. Drew 1-1 with Liverpool. Just go through any of the fixtures, man. Beat Tottenham 1-0. Beat Aston Villa 2-1. Beat us. They're in that position for a reason. It's not a fluke. They're the third best team in the country. Facts. And by a good measurement as well. Like, they're on 54 points. Chelsea are on 49 points. 5 points ahead. With 9 games to go to get Champions League football. So if you don't think they're going to be tuned up for this and they're going to be confident and ready for it, especially after winning, had they gone out in the against Brighton, then obviously you got a different kind of mentality. Players tiredness sets in a little bit more. But with them winning, they're going to be up for this game. And players like Elanga especially are going to be up for this and want to prove a point. So I think it's going to be a really difficult game. But that's what we're here for. That's the challenge that we want. Everyone's talking about the Premier League and, oh, it's just the Europa League now. It's just do that. I get it. Europa League is more important than the Premier League. Just facts, right? All the chickens and the egg in that basket. That's cool. But there's still a sense of like a reputation and confidence and winning mentality that you've got to have in these kind of games. Don't be going to the Forest thinking, oh, just the Europa League now. You know, just kind of, if we get a draw or lose, I'm not too bothered. I'm not all about that. I'm like, I want to try salvage some of this season somehow. Now, people might call me stupid for that because we are 13th on 37 points. But look, you might scrape it, and this sounds mad even saying this, but you might scrape a top table finish. You know, we're on 37 points. Aston Villa are on 45. So we're 8 points behind Villa. Or Bournemouth are on 44. They lose a couple of games, you can catch them. So it's about just keeping that momentum regardless. People might say Arsenal completely out the title run now. They're 12 points behind Liverpool. If Liverpool slip up in a couple of games, Arsenal will be there to pounce. So you have to have that professional mindset where you just keep going and keep going and keep playing. Random saying he's probably going to act as a spare attacking mid to try and play through the low block. That's a great point, Random. Sean Sawyer saying I can see Forest beating United by 2 or 3 goals. It wouldn't surprise me. The thing about these kind of games when you're coming back from an international break, especially when you've been off, some of the players have been off for around 16 days, right? It's been a long old international break. The rhythm and tempo and stuff isn't really... The fitness will be there for the majority of players. I think Forest should look like the more tired team. But the rhythm and tempo is the one thing I'm concerned with United. And if you look at how we start games... Notoriously, we start games ridiculously slow. So if that is the case, I think it could take us a while to get going. Forest could capitalise on that, get an early goal, and then it's a mountain to climb from there. Especially trying to score at the City ground. They've got the most clean sheets in the league. They are extremely well organised, very good defensively. It's going to be a tough ask. But I think, look, I think our attack now is becoming a little bit more balanced. I mentioned Garnacho before, looks solid on the right. You've got Xerxes and Bruno who are shifting all over the pitch. Intelligent players who know what they're doing. Patrick Dorgu, balance, left-hand side. So you've not just got a threat coming from the... You know, it's not all just one area. Like, you've got a couple of things to worry about now on the pitch, which is nice to see. I think with United going into this, the pressing from the front has got to be spot on. If you can disrupt Nottingham Forest build-up play, especially targeting specific defenders who aren't as comfortable on the ball... under pressure, I think you can get yourself a high turnover there and a high chance of scoring. Mount would be perfect for that. Obviously, he's not ready to start a game, but I think he could come on and he could be an interesting cameo. If you can get turnovers in them areas, you might get something out of the game. I touched on it as well. They're going to be leggy. They're going to be tired. You would expect them to be. They're missing a couple of players. Now's your opportunity to press them. Now is the time. But they are, it has to be said, and like an impenetrable, I can't even say the word. Is that even a word? Impenetrable? Is that how you say it, people? Impenetrable? They are an impenetrable team. Doesn't sound right. But yeah, they've got, so super well organised. They're effective in counter-attacking. They can kill teams off in 1, 2, 3. Like a referee. Like 1 pass, 2 pass, boom, you're in straight away. They can go long, like someone referenced before in the chat, I think it was UTFR or Random. They could play it to the target man, or one year's a big lad. Can hold the centre-backs off and then bring Elanga or Hudson-Odoi, whoever it is, into play. They're a dangerous team. They've got a really impressive home record. Unbeaten since November at home, I think. Which kind of underlies the emphasis on the City ground being an absolute fortress. However, with Nottingham Forest, it doesn't mean that they don't have certain vulnerabilities. If you watch their games, their defenders seem to struggle a little bit with skillful players. So, one thing I will say, the message before this game, Garnacho and Xerxes, and that's 3 fingers, Bruno as well, let's say, key in this game. Really, really key. They have to be on it. Garnacho, the one who I would pick out. Just be a threat constantly. Have them worrying. Have them going back towards their own goal. I think Forest, we know they don't have the majority of possession. I think on average they have around 38% per game. So the emphasis will be on us to break them down, and they'll look for areas of weakness in our kind of structure to play off. But yeah, you've got to be smart with the ball. You can't be giving it away silly. And put Casemiro, Dalot, Bruno sometimes, they're the ones I would look at. Onana is another one as well in build-up. You can't be giving the ball away stupidly. This is the game especially when you can't be doing it, because Forest will kill you on a counter-attack. They'll absolutely kill you. Luckily for us, there's no Chris Wood available today. 18 goals in the Premier League. Cost him 14 million quid, by the way. Madness. Absolute madness. 14 million quid. He's got 18 goals in the Prem. So it is a 1 year, but he's, still a handful. We ironed out earmarked the centre-backs when we did the preview as the ones to really talk about. I think Milinkovic and Murillo have been incredible for Forest since they've gone in there. Milinkovic acquired from Fiorentina for 12 million, and his impact has been profound. 6'5", he's a beast, he's dominant, he's got leadership, and he's currently contributing to one of the best Premier League, the best defensive records. Sorry, Murillo is another one signed from Corinthians for 10 million quid. And he's adapted like that. He had hardly any experience at all, but the agility, intelligence, the willingness to advance with the ball, the confidence. He's another top centre-back. Another fantastic investment. And it just goes to show that this synergy that those two centre-backs have, that comes from teams, scouts, managers, whatever you want to call it, doing their due diligence when they're scouting and understanding how you can make two players work together and complement off each other's strengths. There's a reason why Nemanja Vidic and Rio was so good. Rio was the quick one. He could sweep up. He was great on the ball. Vidic was more of a leader, warrior. He'll get into a fight. He'll put his head in the way. Great in the air. They just work together. And that kind of partnership, like I said, it exemplifies really good strategic recruitment. And them two have been nothing short of sensational. Let's see how it goes. If they do get Champions League football, I think it's going to be an interesting season for Forest next year. How they adapt to that. I'm sure they'll probably invest money, because you get money from the Champions League, and they'll want to make themselves a mainstay. And they have the needs and ability to do that, I think. They've got a good, pragmatic coach who can get results against the bigger teams. They've got a really good counter-attacking Tyler Play, and they've got someone an owner who's willing to invest in the squad. You've seen that, like hundreds of millions. So I think they're one to watch over the next couple of seasons to see how they do. Is it a one-season wonder, people? Or can they keep going? It's fascinating. What do we think? Let's have a look. Impenetrable. Yeah, did I say it right? I think I did. What's the Forest team? So the Forest team is, Sean. Let me get it up for you. Give me a second. I've got the Gladiator theme tune stuck in my head. Nottingham Forest team. If anyone wants to show it, man, I might have to go on Nottingham Forest's Twitter. I'll have to go on the Twitter. I think it was Sells, Nico Williams, Murillo, Milinkovic, Aina, Anderson, Yates, Danilo, Gibbs White, Ilanga, Awonyi. I think that was the team off the top of my head. But they did it all dead weird. We're beating them today, says Chivet. I don't know if we'll beat them, but I think we can definitely get a draw. 100%. The ball's in our court, I think, for this one. If United show up to the level they were showing against Sociedad and Arsenal, you can definitely get a result. Just depends what United show up. Lumen, 7 defensive players. Dorgu, Bruno, Xerxes, Dalot, Mazraoui. I wouldn't say they're necessarily heavily defensive. Ugarte, Casemiro, De Ligt, and Yoro, yeah. But the others, I think, are pretty advanced. I mean, Mazraoui loves to wander as much as we know. You've got a few jack-in-the-boxes there who can... I mean, the floating players, they can do some damage, but it's all about game intelligence. It's all about that. 100%. Right, do we have any quotes coming out from the manager, Mr. Ruben? I'm sure he's excited for this game. Let me have a look. We need to be really focused on the game. We have to do, because we approve already. I think he means improve already against big teams, that we can win any game. So we need to be really focused, really concentrating everything, set pieces, transitions. They're really strong, they're really smart, and they're in a good moment also. So if we are focused and we have energy in the game, we can win any game. Strong words from Amrin prior to it. On building momentum, he says it's really important because the momentum comes from, especially from points, from winning games. So we have to continue to do that. We're more confident, but we have to prove that today. Why do managers always have this thing? Ten Hag did it as well. You know, when they speak about the game or situations, like we must do this, and we have to do this, and we go again, and we really want to do this, and it's just like their vocabulary is a range of 5 words, and they just repeat that. We want to win games in the Premier League, go up in the table. We want to fight for the Europa League, so we have to take advantage of every minute, every training. Any other quotes? Let's touched on the Xerxes quotes. Should we start getting predictions in? What you see happening in the game? Yeah, where's the positivity at, people? Come on. I want to hear some predictions. Ugarte is more of a box-to-box than purely defensive player. He is, but the volume of stuff that he does, or where you would say what he's really good at is putting fires out, right? Which is more of a defensive quality, you would say. But I do agree he can advance. And I don't say do damage in the final third, but he's got qualities. I think I would like him to open up a bit more, because I do think he's got a bit more of a passing range. I do think he could be a bit more advanced, but I don't know. He's like a bit of a shy player as well, which is weird, which kind of contradicts how he plays on the pitch, but he does seem a bit of a shy guy. I don't know. 2-1 United, maybe 2-0. There's a lot of positivity from the chat. A lot of positivity, which I think I'm fascinated by. I'm here for it. Yeah. What's going on here? Sorry, just seen some news coming in from Academy Scoop. Exclusive. Manchester United's Academy Recruitment Department are gearing up for an ambitious summer transfer window. Oh, let me leg up. Ow. Oh, no. As they look to bring some of the country's biggest talents to Carrington, preliminary work has begun for a number of highly rated players. United hoping to be a competitive force in the market, comparable with that of Manchester City and Chelsea in recent years. Last summer's deal to sign Cheeto represents the standard of player the club are aiming to recruit. It's lovely things. Love to hear that. That's been one of the biggest positives for me since Ineos has come in. The focus on bright young talents and really pushing for him. And if you look at Lenny Yoro's quotes on Cheeto, he's saying he could be one of the best strikers in the world. Now, that's one man's opinion. Doesn't always work out, but just goes to show the kind of quality that we're working with. Tonight, Bruno Fernandes, quick start. Oh, shit. Fell off my journal. Quick start incoming. Bruno Fernandes will match the same number of appearances for United, 278, as Luke Shaw. He joined the club in 2020, 6 years after Shaw. That is crazy. Absolutely crazy. But Shaw's another one as well who's back soon. Madness. I didn't realise I was zoomed out. I was getting in a little bit there. Right, okay then. Let's do the let's do the predictions and bet sheet, whatever you want to call it, right? So I'm going to go. Oh, this chair's absolutely killing. Fucking legs gone dead. I'm going to go. It's a difficult one to predict this. There's so many factors involved where you're just like, oh, I don't know. Come on, help me out, chat. What are we saying? I don't want to go for a win. I think I'll go for a draw. I can see a 1-1 or a 2-2 even. I don't think United got 2 goals in this against Forest. I'll say 1-1. I think it's going to be an unusual score in this game. A Casemiro or a De Ligt. And they'll catch us on the counter with a Hudson-Odoi or a Langer, for sure. And Gibbs White scored a few goals against us in the past as well. So I'll go 1-1 and De Ligt or Casemiro to score. I think it's going to be a feisty battle in the middle. So Ugarte or Cas to get a yellow card. Both teams to score. And I'll go 1 from each of the forward line to get a shot on target. So Awoniyi, Ilanga, and Hudson-Odoi. Because I do think we'll get caught on the counter quite a bit. And they'll get opportunities. So that's what I'll go for. But I'm just excited, man, to have Premier League football back. I know some people like watching England and they like the internationals, but I am just not that guy. I love watching that. I mean, yesterday I was super excited to watch the under-18s in the semi-final. Unfortunately, they lost, but just watching United in any form, whether it is under-18s, under-21s, Premier League football, that is my bread and butter. I love doing it. I love watching it. And I'm excited for Premier League football. Even though we are 13th in the league, people might say there's nothing to play for. it still gets me up. It's like coffee. Give me more of it. Me, Sam, and Chivy. My voice is going already because I'm speaking that much. Me, Sam, and Chivy are going to be live after the game for the post-match review. It's going to be a late one, but make sure you do come and join us for that. I can't wait to break the game down with those two. It's been a minute since I've spoken to Chivy as well, so I'm fascinated to dive into that. Apart from that, please do enjoy the game. United finally back after 16 days or whatever it's been. We've got a busy old schedule now. We play this game. We've got a Manchester derby on the weekend. Pretty sure we play Villa, is it, I think, at some point? I think it's Forest, Man City. No, it's Sociedad, sorry. Then it's Newcastle in between that. Not Sociedad, Lyon. Newcastle in between that, and then Lyon again. So we've got really tough games. And it starts tonight against Nottingham Forest. Get that win. Get the dub, lads. And let's discuss a good performance. And we can analyse football as well. It's another thing. I love doing the post-match review because you can say, right, this is where we went wrong. This is who stood out in the game. This is what we need to improve on the next game. And this is how Amarin's system is adapting more and looking better and better and better. Hopefully that's the kind of conversations we'll be having after the game. Not, fucking hell, we've lost 4-0. Back to square one. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. I want none of that chat after the game. But yeah, I'll look forward to seeing you individuals in the chat. Appreciate every single one of you. Enjoy it. Football, it kicks off in around 20 minutes time. I'll speak to you in the next one.